Hi and welcome to the launch of Sew Keighley Pride. My name's Sophie Powell, I'm the project manager for ICLS and I'm managing the Sew Keighley Pride programme. Because of some technical difficulties in the original recording, we've had to re-record the first half that includes the presentation. And what you'll see after this is the rest of the event, including Sally Stone, who's our volunteer coordinator, Morwenna Catt, who's our artistic director, and some questions from the audience. So I'll get on and do the presentation. So welcome to Sew Keighley Pride. What is Sew Keighley Pride? It's a community patchwork flag project celebrating people's LGBTQ inspirations. It's based on the Progress Pride flag that was designed by Daniel Cassart in 2018. This is an example of the flag, and you can see here that it includes the original Pride flag with the 6 stripes and the trans flag and stripes representing people of colour. Sew Keighley Pride is going to be 283 patches celebrating the LGBTQ plus community. This is an example, this is a mock-up of the flag, and you can see that each of the squares represents individual patches that we are inviting the community to make. It's going to be a 3 metre by 1.5 metre flag, and it will be launched at Keighley Pride in August 2021. We're inviting people to make textile patches embroidered with names, quotes and ideas. Here are some examples. We can also print images onto fabric. If you send in your photographs as high resolution images, we can print these onto fabric and include these in the flag. We're also inviting people to send in fabric with special meaning, and we can include this in the flag as well. So perhaps it was a special shirt that you met your partner in. Maybe it's a tea towel from a holiday that you went on. It could be anything as long as it's non-stretchy and at least 20 centimetres by 20 centimetres. That's the ideal size to make a patch. So the outcomes of Sew Keighley Pride are a flag to be used for education and outreach. We really hope that we can go into schools and community groups and to start the conversation about LGBTQ culture and the LGBTQ community. A zine of the process. So the zine will be given out at Keighley Pride and will be sent to global zine libraries, especially those with an LGBTQ focus. There'll also be an exhibition at Keighley Creative for the Keighley Arts and Film Festival in October 2021. And we're also in conversation with Cliff Castle about having an exhibition there for LGBTQ History Month in 2022. So very quickly, what is a zine? It's a self-made publication, which is short for magazine. If you think of a pamphlet or fanzine, they were very popular in the punk era, and people used to use them to celebrate their favourite bands and celebrate ideas. There are a lot of feminist zines, and zines are a really integral part of queer DIY culture. Anything can go into the Sew Keighley Pride zine. So maybe if you send us a piece of fabric, you can send a story that goes along with it, and this can be published in the zine. In total, it will be a 40-page A5 publication printed in black and white. And here are some examples of zines from the Las Vegas Zine Library. Who is Sew Keighley Pride? So we're a partnership between ICLS, Intercultural Communication and Leadership School, Keighley Pride, Cliff Castle, and the community of Keighley and the surrounding dales and valleys. Sophie Powell, which is myself, as the project manager. Sally Stone is our volunteer coordinator, and Morwenna Catt is our artistic director. And how do you get involved? Make a patch. Make a patch celebrating your LGBTQ plus inspiration. It could be an organisation, a person, a family member. It could be yourself. You can order a patch kit and sew via our website, iclseducation.org, and you fill in a simple Google form which tells us which colour stripe you'd like, which colour embroidery thread, if you need extra equipment like an embroidery hoop and needles, so we can send these all out to you. So these are some of the example templates. And if you want to make the green stripe, then we are we're asking people to do these in human form. So we'd quite like this. We would like these to be made in live workshops. So fingers crossed, when we all go back to being able to meet in person, if you'd like to come along to some of these workshops, please get in contact with us and we'll let you know when they happen. Alternatively, if you want to come along to our Stitch Club on a Tuesday, then we can make them together. So see, these are some of the examples of patches that are in progress. Jerry Bell, who's a drag queen from up in the Calder Valley, is making a patch based on Anne Lister, who Jerry bases their drag king act on, Gentleman Jack. Here's a patch that celebrates Keighley Pride as an organisation. Here's a patch that celebrates love as an idea that spans anybody, regardless of their gender or sexuality. We would love people to donate fabric that has special meaning to them. Please let us know the story and we can include this in the zine. So you can send or drop off your clean, non-stretchy fabric to Heather Millard, Community Curator at Cliff Castle. We need people to stitch, we need people to get excited about the project, we need people to cheerlead and be part of our social media campaign. There are lots of ways to volunteer and Sally will go through those very shortly. So if you want to volunteer with the project or just find out more, email sally@iclseducation.org. Tell us your story. We want Sew Keighley Pride to represent all voices, from people who identify as LGBTQ+, and allies, to families, to friends, to people who access support organisations. Everybody's story is welcome in Sew Keighley Pride. So if you have a story to share but can't necessarily commit to making a patch, please get in touch and we can help make sure you're included. This could be a name you want to celebrate, a quote or an idea. We're going to back the flag with another printed flag with lots and lots of stories and names written on in fabric pens. This helps us tell the story of the whole LGBTQ community across Keighley, the Dales and Valleys. Send in a photograph. We've already said we can print these onto fabric and include these as individual patches in the flag. Email a high resolution image to sophie@iclseducation.org. I'll need you to fill in a permission form so that we know that the photograph is okay to use. And come to Stitch Club. We've got a Stitch Club every Tuesday from 7 till 8. It's a friendly place to drop in, have a cup of tea, bring your ideas, bring your and order a patch kit. So we've got a tiny URL there, so tinyurl.com/sew-kp, and our password is capitals PF4K. So I hope that gives you a good background in Sew Keighley Pride, what we're hoping to achieve with the project, and how you can get involved. So the next part of the recording will be from the launch itself, and we'll start with Sally, who's our volunteer coordinator. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sophie. My name's Sally. I am, as Sophie said, the volunteer coordinator for the project. With my other hat on, I also teach everything sewing at Bradford College to adults and members of the community. So I've got two different kind of skill sets here. Just going to talk a little bit about volunteering. Sophie was talking about how you can get involved, and you can get involved in making a patch. If you're making a patch, we class that as being a participant. If you want to be more involved and are so passionate about the project that you would like to donate a bit more of your time, then there are options for you to come and join our volunteer team. So I've just got a few slides to show as well. I'm just going to try and share my screen. I should be able to do that, shouldn't I, Sophie? Oh yes, there we are. Right, let's see what happens. That's what I want. So, yes, there we go. Right. So I just thought, just to help as an aid, to show a few of the bullet points of kind of things that we're looking for volunteers to help us with. So rather than us having a list of roles that we're trying to fill, we're actually trying to kind of recruit people who might have specific skill sets, and then we'll create the roles around them. So most important, we are looking for people who can sew. As Sophie mentioned before, we are hoping to get as many people involved in making patches as possible, and there might be people who have some wonderful ideas but either don't have the skills or don't have the ability to be able to do it. So having a few volunteers that we can pair up with people and help them get those patches made will be fantastic. Also, we're looking for people who are avid social media gurus who would be happy to come on board and help us with the promotion of the event. And on the same vein there, maybe you're a creative writer or a blogger. You might be a creative writer who would like to get into blogging. So we're really looking for someone or a couple of people to record the progress of the project, so we can kind of help tell the story to a wider audience. You might be really good at networking. Some people are just complete natural networkers, and have a really good kind of connections throughout the community. So if you are, we would absolutely love to have some cheerleaders for the project who can go out and shout about it from the rooftops and get as many people across as many demographics of the community as possible. And anyone who can come and get involved with volunteering, you just need to have the passion, you know, and just really want to get involved. And people who might want to be ambassadors for the project, that could involve going into specific community groups and helping them. It might be that you're part of a particular community group that wants to get involved, and so you can actually come and join us from the organisation. So lots of different opportunities there. So you might be thinking, oh goodness, you know, I'd really love to do that, but I really haven't got enough time. So the idea of how much time you would be required for you to have that volunteer status, well, you know, even just a couple of hours a week would be sufficient. If you want to come and do, you know, five days a week, then that would be amazing too. But you know, it's just entirely up to the individual, really. So if people do want to get involved, then I would myself an email. So it's sally@iclseducation.org, and then I will just contact you directly, and maybe we could have a little Zoom chat and discuss kind of where your passions lie, and see how we can fit you into the team. So yeah, I think that's everything I've got to say. Is there anything I've missed, Sophie?
The citizen coin.
Oh yes, thank you. Oh, well done. Yes, so we are really excited about being teaming up with Citizen Coin, which is a kind of social reward system. So think Groupon. So the kind of it's the sort of offers you might get on Groupon, but it's specifically to redeem at independent businesses throughout the Bradford district. So for making a patch, you can earn coin. For volunteering for so many hours, you can earn coin, and then you can go and cash that in and get some money off a coffee, or there's a whole list of different participating businesses throughout Bradford. So yeah, another little added incentive to get you all involved.
Brilliant, thank you, Sally.
No problem.
Right.
I'll just get rid of this. Stop. There we are.
There we go. Oop. Thanks ever so much, Sally, for introducing that. So yeah, just drop Sally an email if you would like to get involved with that. And I was looking through the list for Morwenna. If Morwenna is up for coming and saying hi. Oops. I think I'm just asking everybody to unmute at the moment. Hang on. Okay, so just to be clear, Morwenna is zooming in from Norway, quite deep in a forest in Norway. So her internet isn't always that great. And what I'll do is I'll wait for her to come back into the room and see if she can say hello then. And so over to you guys for questions. I can see Noah's got a question. So what I'll do is ask you to unmute Noah, and what would you like to know?
Yeah, I want to share my story about basically to help other people, because obviously Sally's aware about my circumstance and my situation, and I want to give as much information about my story so people that are in my situation or have been, they'll feel that, you know what, they're not alone, because what I've been through as a person and my kids have been through and been exposed to, I want the same thing to never happen to anyone ever again. Do you know what I mean? So I really, really want to share my story, but I don't know how to go about it, or if I should start writing it down and then maybe what I can do, email it over or something to you guys. I don't know how to go about it.
So I wear quite a few different hats, and what I'd like to do now is have a little chat with you outside of this Zoom meeting about another project that I'm involved with, called the Bradford People Library, because I think that would be a really great place for you to share your story. So what I'll do is I'll put my email in the chat, and you're free to email me at any point, and we can maybe have a little chat over Zoom about that. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
I will just put. So throwing the floor open to the rest of the room. Is there anything that anybody would like to share? Has anybody got a photograph that they'd like to show as an example of, or has anybody got a patch that they've started that they'd like to show us? Oh, there you are, Morwenna! Brilliant.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I lost my internet connection is a bit clockwork here. So, and I'm actually uploading a video, which is a kind of demo of me doing a patch to YouTube at the moment, and I'll send it to you as well. But I think that is not helping my Zoom experience. So apologies if I disappeared just at the moment when I was supposed to be jazz hands and, you know, waiting.
That's all good, don't worry.
But if you carry on with what you were doing, and then I'll, you know, if you want to drag me in when there's a break.
You are dragged in now. That's
all right. Okay, I'm so sorry. Yeah, so I'm Morwenna. I'm the artist who was very lucky to be asked to get involved in this project. Sophie knows my work a bit. I think she saw some of it down at the gallery, the artist space in the old co-op building, the Sunwin House building, last year. And my work, my textile work, is really about telling human stories. So I've done a lot of work about historical characters and war, and quite often subjects that aren't necessarily happy, or but I also, with another hat, make very extravagant experimental costumes for parades and events and things as well. So this is a fantastic kind of combination of narratives, that people can tell, and that kind of celebratory aspect as well. So it's a brilliant project for me. And here I want to facilitate people, make things as easy as possible for people to express themselves. And if you're not experienced in sewing at all, it doesn't really matter, because as Sally was saying, you know, we can try and pay with people. I can help. Sally obviously is a fantastic stitcherer as well, so she can help. And there are lots of different ways that you can express yourself through stitch. And if you happen to be an amazing sewer and you like using a sewing machine, we don't mind. I mean, the kit is for people who do hand sewing and for hand embroidery, but you're perfectly welcome to do a bit of whizzing around on the sewing machine as well. So anything goes, really. We just want people to be as experimental as possible and find ways that help you to tell your story and your narrative, or the historical figure, or whoever it is that you're interested in highlighting, really. My work, I've got a website which is just myname.co.uk, and if I'll put it in the chat actually in a bit, but if anybody later wants to go and have a look, there's lots of different project work on there that you can have a quick hunt through. And there's a contact form on there as well, and I'll put my email in the chat, so if anybody's got any questions that they think about later, whether they're technical or about ideas that you might have and how you want to go about expressing them, feel free to email me and I'm happy to help. I'll put my email in my details in the chat now.
Muted everybody else, including myself. Thank you so much, Wenna, for that. I've popped your website address in there, but if you're happy to put your email in there as well, that'd be brilliant. And yes, throwing the floor open to other people. If anybody's got anything that they is a work in progress that they'd like to show. Excuse me. If there's anybody who's got a work in progress that they'd like to show, or any photographs that they would like as an example to put in the flag, then please raise your hand and we will spotlight you. Or if you've got any questions or comments, or would like to know anything that we haven't covered yet.
I think Ruth wants to ask something.
Ruth, oh, there we go.
Unmute. Yeah, well, I kind of just want to show what I've received in the kit pack, because I haven't actually got started. So I got these two colours. I do have a little question as well. I chose the orange one, and then I got the blue thread and this, what do you call this?
An embroidery hoop.
Embroidery hoop, yeah. Could you explain how you use this?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you actually patch around it, or?
So if I show you mine, if I show you mine, I will be. So I've got my patch there. So the embroidery hoop. There we go. You unscrew this bit here. You take out the inner circle. You lay the inner circle underneath your fabric where you want to embroider this, and then you put the outer circle over the top until it's really tight, and then you pull it. You need to pull it tight a little bit. The best way to do it is just to keep tightening the screw at the top, and then just, I'm going to be very gentle with this because it's great. And then you just keep pulling the fabric tight until it's like a drum. Everything's a drum.
Right, that makes sense.
There we
Thank
go.
you.
So you make the fabric really nice and tight so that so it's really easy to perfect. Yeah, you've
So
nailed
then
it.
like that, and
Absolutely
then
nailed it.
yeah.
I think Morwenna wants to ask something.
I wasn't going to ask them, but I was just going to say that the video that I'm uploading at the moment has how to stretch your fabric over your embroidery hoop, and all the basics, you know, how to thread your needle using the special needle threader, how to split your embroidery threads if you want them to be thinner. It's got all those kind of basic techniques and a few basic sort of stitches demonstrated as well. And I have got a link to the video now, but you can't watch it yet because it's not actually finished uploading. It'll probably be another 4 hours or something. It's been doing it for 12 hours so far. So what I'll do, I'll put the link to the video in the chat, and then you can have a look at that. It's not long, it's about 12 minutes, but it's got, you know, the very most basic information for novice stitchers. So hopefully it will be easy enough to follow.
There's a question from Fionn in the chat. Will we be assigned a colour to work on, or do we choose the colour we make for the flag?
So, oh, excuse me. I'm just gonna restart that myself. So Fionn, if you order a patch kit, you'll be able to choose the colour that you would like to sew with. I have been just sending out embroidery thread in random colours, so apologies for that, Ruth. But I've added a question in now, so you can choose your embroidery colour, embroidery thread colour as well. So you'll get. So, and you can choose if you get an embroidery ring and needles. I've included a threader as well. And you'll get 2 colours of the colour that you've chosen. So that might be red, orange, pale pink, blue, white, all the colours of the progress flag. And yeah, what I'll do now is go and find the patch kit, and I'll put that in the chat as well. So does that answer your question? Yes, perfect. Thank you, Fionn. Good. I'm glad that answers that. And I've just put the link. So it's a Google form. It's a general Google form. There are some like demographic questions on there as well that we've been asked to provide information for the Arts Council as our funders. But that information will be provided anonymously. And as soon as the patch kit is packed up, then your form is deleted and nobody can see it anymore.
Does anybody else have any other questions or anything to show? Just to express themselves or an idea?
Thank you, Ruth. Oh, Sally?
I just thought people might be interested in hearing what my inspiration for my patch is going to be, just to give people ideas. So my son Kai went to school in Keighley, and he is now at university in Manchester. And we left Keighley area when he was about 16, so what's that, about 7 years ago, something like that. And since leaving school, he then kind of came out to all his friends and started living his best life in Leeds, and then became a drag queen. And so now he performs in Manchester, and I couldn't be more proud of him. So I'm going to make my patch for him. His drag name is the Chastity Stone. So I just thought I'd share that with people, give people the kind of, you know, ideas about where their stories might come from.
Thank you, Sally.
That's
I'm
great.
just going to spotlight Anna. And
I'm still. Can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you loud and clear.
I'm still confused about the colour, right? So, I mean, I have masses of embroidery thread. I have fabric. I'm an upholsterer. I also have all that stuff as well. So, colour-wise, if I'm just going to do one without ordering one of your kits, can I just do it on like any colour fabric and use any colours I want, or does the colour thing have to follow a theme of like the colours of that you've put in your flag?
So,
for example, the example you've given is Morwenna's, and is it Sophie, yours as well, and they include all the colours of the rainbow.
So the base colour that we've used there is both white, so they would go in the white section. It's the idea is it's a patchwork flag. So if I just cast that light, the idea is it's a patchwork flag, and so we appreciate that the block colours, it would look more folky, it would look more patchworky if those colours were patterned. I'm just going to vanish for 2 seconds because I've got some of the patch kits down here just to give you a little example.
Okay.
So, for instance, this is the purple patches that I'm sending out. So you can see here that we've got a piece of plain purple fabric that is really the standard colour of the purple stripe.
Yeah.
We've also got some patterned fabric here that's also purple, and that's purple as a base colour. So as long as it's the base colour, there we go. So we've got some lovely.
Yeah. So you can actually use any colour threads or any colours on top of the base colour. Right. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
So as long as it looks, you know, like the purple stripe. When it's all fitted together, it's like a jigsaw, isn't it? When you look at individual pieces, they don't make any sense. But then when it's put into a whole, it forms a larger picture. So when it's flown, it'll look like the progress flag. So,
yeah, of course. Really, right. Thank you.
That's really useful to know that we need to make that really clear for people. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
And Ari, we've answered that for you. That's really good. And Chastity is one of the guests on a radio show that is being broadcast at 4 o'clock on BCB this Saturday and the Saturday after. So we did a drag special with Chastity, with Lady Bushra, so 2 Keighley Queens, and with Jerry Bell as well, who's a drag king who lives up in Haworth. So tune in for that, and then you'll be able to listen again on BCB as well. I'll just pop these down.
Just to say, I'm not really very artistic or a sewer. So, but I'm sort of thinking, well, what could I put on the flag that something special for me? So, I want to have my picture of Danger Mouse and Penfold, and that represents my young partner who I met on a dating site, and he was Danger Mouse, and I was then named Penfold. I won't go into all the details, but it's just a little bit of significance for me. So I'm sure everybody has that little sort of something that the picture that could go on the flag to represent themselves. It may not say who it is, but it just says you'll think, oh, that's me, and that's something special. So I hope that will encourage people to just think a bit outside the box. And I will send it in. I won't be able to sew it or anything, but you can use that.
That's a really nice example of an image that can go onto the flag that's significant for somebody. It doesn't really matter if it doesn't have significance for anybody else in Keighley, but to be able to celebrate that and to be able to fly that, literally fly the flag, is really important. And if people feel that they would like to send their story in as well, so maybe a short description or like a paragraph, then that can go in the zine. And so if people get the zine, then they'll be able to kind of marry the pictures and the stories up together. So it's another way of celebrating people and celebrating people's stories. We did get a lot of inspiration from the West Yorkshire Queer Stories as well, and their archive project that they've been doing for the past kind of
maybe we can send the link
years.
round to that, to the quiz. We are going to do that at Keighley Pride. We're going to have a meeting of queer stories. So I think the zines are also going to be displayed at Keighley Pride and also in the Arts Centre, aren't they? So and taken to some schools and things. So it's a way of expressing yourself in a different way.
Yeah, so everybody who contributes to the zine will get a zine. We're going to have 1,000 printed, so we'll be able to hand load out and send them out to zine libraries around the world. Heather's put the West Yorkshire Queer Stories archive in the chat, and it's fascinating, and there's loads of really great stories from Keighley as well, so it's well worth going through. There's videos, there's audio files, and Sally's reminded me about the green stripe. So Ari and is it Anna? It's worth saying that we've decided to leave the green stripe slightly different. We're going to have it as human figures. So we weren't going to, but if people really want to send in like a green patch, then absolutely it'll go in. But if I just very quickly share my screen again, if you just give me a couple of seconds to find the file. We're going to do the green stripe in a slightly different way. We're going to make it a group. We're going to make them all human figures. And what we are really, I mean, when I sent through the template for this, it was just lovely. Just really enjoyed receiving this. Hang on. There we go. So it's a way to celebrate anybody from any of any ability, of any gender, and if somebody would like to add a mermaid tale, so that's a really lovely nod to the Mermaids, the charity that support young people who are transitioning or young people who are exploring their gender. So you can add legs, take legs away, add arms, take arms away. Maybe somebody might have some kind of walking aid or mobility aid, and that can be really easily added in. So this would be the template kit for just the green stripe. So thank you, Sally, for reminding me of that. So we're probably already about 10 minutes away from the end. So does anybody have anything else that they would like to add or they would like to ask? Happy to answer any questions or direct it to Morwenna or Sally. And if not, I think it's done. Let's get sewing.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to report regularly and update us and each month, so and encourage us and perhaps show us some examples. I don't know what you're going to do to
absolutely. Well, if you go on our Instagram, that's full of Sew Keighley Pride. So when people have been sending patches in, I've made sure that they've been uploaded there. There'll be regular blog posts. We're going to have 2 radio shows a month. I've committed to that. So they'll be over on BCB and they'll be uploaded onto our website as well, so you'll be able to listen back to those. So there'll be lots of ways to get involved, find out what's going on, and come to Keighley Pride
And there's one this Saturday at 4 p.m, isn't there?
There is, yeah, and that will be repeated on the Saturday after as well. So that's our drag special with Chastity, with Lady Bushra, and with Jerry Bell. who performs as Gentleman Jack, which is a great celebration of Anne Lister. So you saw Jerry's patch a little bit earlier on. So what I'll do now then, if there aren't any more questions, is hand it over to David for the
yeah, we might as well get going. Yeah.
So this is the Sew Keighley Pride bit ended. You're very welcome to stay for the Keighley Pride updates, but also you're very welcome to